Okay, so I've got the strawberries cleaning and put my ring back on. And I thought while I was waiting for that to finish, I would update you a little bit on what's been going on in terms of book stuff, book development. As you probably already know, because I've posted about it a couple of times and I mentioned it in my last short, if I recall correctly, I have been in the process of refreshing both my author site and my personal blog. I didn't mention the personal blog in the last video because at the time I hadn't really decided exactly what I was going to do. But I decided to change the design of both. Both are still works in progress, but I am uploading some of the YouTube content to my author site because I've noticed people do seem to enjoy watching some of the videos on there. And I'm going to be creating original content for both the author site and the blog. I have kind of an idea of exactly what I'm going to do with the blog, but I'm not 100% set on it yet. So I think I need to go over that a few more times. Now with the books, let's see if I can get this open with one hand. I have decided, starting with The Cozy Mystery, the debut novel, because of some of the issues that I have with it, I'm going to hold off on the publication process, finding an agent and all that, because at least for now, because I want to try a little experiment. I managed to stay away from that particular project long enough that I think now I have a little bit more perspective. I've gained a little bit more perspective on it because of some of the things that I want to see if I can change, and because of some of the things that I'm learning in terms of not just writing but also the way that I work and the way that I like to tell stories and the types of stories that I like to tell. I'm going to try, since I have all this space on these new flash drives, I'm going to make a second copy, a second file of The Cozy Mystery. Put it on one of these flash drives. Maybe not this one. Maybe I'll use the other one, the one that's all black. I keep thinking this is black and navy, but it's all black. Originally, I was just going to do a backup, but instead, I'm actually going to use the second copy as an experimental project to see what would happen if I change certain things in the story, eventually changing the genre from cozy mystery to something else that is a combination of mystery and something else. I'm not 100% sure. It's still really early for me to tell exactly where this is going to go. But this way, if it doesn't work out, I still have the completed copy that I can send, that I can submit. And even potentially, I don't know, maybe as I'm playing around with the secondary copy, that may turn into a completely different book, because you never know, that I can publish on its own, as an independent standalone novel, novella, whatever it ends up being. Either way, I wouldn't miss out on being able to publish the original as it is, and I would still be free to explore other options with a second copy. And the timing of this is really interesting because, as you know, because I've mentioned a couple of times before, we're going into the strawberry moon, because this is June. I had to double check. It's not March, it's June. It's June. Time. One of the projects, one of the group projects that I'm doing with Allura, Toby, and quite a few other people, that is involving the strawberries that I'm cleaning now, that I'm going to eat as part of my lunch, because now it's 12:15, is reflecting on thinking back over my life, thinking about where I thought I would be by now versus where I am, and asking myself, am I happy with the way things are? My default answer is no, always no. You know, I thought that when I was much younger, I thought that when I got to a certain age, I would have a completely different situation going for me. I thought, let me see if I can prop you up a little bit here. Let's see. This is all very makeshift. Ignore the mess in the background. Actually, no, don't ignore it. Don't ignore it, because that's life. That's life. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so I thought that I would be in a very different situation, that I would have a lot more things worked out than I do currently. I don't think I was ever stuck on wanting life to look a certain way, what we would now call the Pinterification, as in Pinterest, you know, a Pinterest board, the Pinterification of life. I don't think I was ever like that, in part because Pinterest wasn't around at the time, but also because the way that media was approached in my house was different from how it was approached in the homes of some of the other people I knew. And I wasn't fixated on a certain look. I wasn't encouraged to adopt certain ideas. I wasn't encouraged to view the world in a particular way, I guess you could say. There were also certain things going on that ensured that I would not view the world in a certain way, and I don't think that that was intrinsically, now when I look back as an adult, I don't think that that was intrinsically good or bad. It was just the way that things were. It was just the hand that I was dealt, and what I decide to use it for, that's up to me. So the strawberries are ready, and now I'm going to put them in a bowl to start consuming. My mother actually is not that keen on strawberries. She's not really all that crazy on them. I've always liked them, but she's kind of, not really. Not really. So maybe I should put a paper towel in the bottom of this. Hold on. So I'm not, am I 100% happy? No, I will say I'm not 100% unhappy. I'm a whole lot happier than I used to be, let me tell you. But is it the life that ideally I would want? Even now? No. No. Are there always things that can be improved? Yes. Is there anything from those days or those dreams, I guess you could say, that I could bring in to make life more the way that I'd like it to be? Things that wouldn't go contrary to what my higher self would want? Yes, I do think that there are several things that are actually probably pretty closely aligned to what my higher self would want. Am I going to spend time feeling sorry for myself? No. I have in the past. And I don't think that I fully recognized that I was feeling sorry for myself at first. Or maybe on some level I did, but I just didn't really care. We all get like that sometimes. But that's not what I'm going to do now. Boy, these strawberries look nice. Can you see? Can you see? Yeah. So I cleaned them with the, I forget what these are called. You know, these things, fruit and vegetable cleaners. We've had this for several years. I really want to get one of the newer ones, at least for a backup, because I use this constantly every time that I'm cooking any vegetables or anytime we get fresh fruit. I'm always using this. So I really don't want it to suddenly burn out and I don't have anything to replace it. So at some point I am going to get us a second one. They have a new model that works a little bit differently and it opens up a little bit differently that I think would be easier to clean. So I put the strawberries in the refrigerator for a little while because I want to eat them after I've had the rest of my meal, which I still have to cook. It's easy to get overwhelmed, right? It's easy to get overwhelmed, and that's one of the things that you learn with Allura, is that human beings have a tendency to focus more on the negative than on the positive. We have a tendency to hold on more to the negative than the positive. The bad memories have a tendency to outweigh the good memories, and that's really not healthy. It's not healthy. We've all done it, but I think that's something that we need to work on. I'm going to work on it. I have been working on it, but it's still ongoing. Before I forgot, I went and got my red carnelian mala beads because I don't have any strawberry themed jewelry or clothes. I wouldn't mind having some, but right now I don't. So I'm using my red carnelian mala beads instead and these earrings to go with the theme. But let's see, what else? The novella, yes. So I actually passed 2,000 words about a month ago, and I haven't worked that much on it since, in terms of actually writing things down or typing things up. But and part of that was just because I've been busy doing other things, and also I think I needed to get some distance from that too, because it's been a long time since writing has felt genuinely fun for me. And now that I've been doing some meditating, getting a better perspective on some other things, and dealing with other priorities in life, I think I've gotten to a point now, or I'm getting to a point now, where writing is actually starting to feel a little bit more fun. And I think I'm working on a project that is more akin to what I should have been working on. But is the first project going to go to waste? No. And like I said with the second copy, it's not going to go to waste. It's not going to go to waste. Regardless of whether it ends up replacing what I have now or turning into something completely different, it doesn't even matter. If anything, I think it's going to give me more freedom of choice creatively, because I'll be able to play around with something that I'm not necessarily focused on publishing, and that feels good. My employment situation has not yet changed that I can see. There are still things going on financially and in other areas of my life. I've been in the process of creating a vision wall that I have up in my room. At some point I might show that. I'm not 100% sure. So I'm using that to help manifest some of the things that I want in pretty much all areas of life. And I've noticed that several things have begun to change in alignment with what I've put on the vision board, in alignment with a lot of the goals that I have, because my day-to-day life is starting to change a bit. I'm finding it a little easier for me to motivate myself. Emotionally, I'm a little bit less tense. I'm not going to say I'm not tense at all, but but I am a little bit less tense. I have a tendency to be really snappy at times. That isn't happening as much. Even something as apparently simple and mundane as cleaning the house, reorganizing, getting rid of a lot of the things that we need to get rid of, going through old bins, things like that. I feel like I'm clearing out the old to bring in the new, and it's also giving me a feeling of, for lack of a better way of putting it, stability that I don't think I had before. A level of clarity that I didn't have before. I also have made some additional progress on Project Radiant. I can't really say much about it though, in part because the novella and Project Radiant are linked. So if I say too much about one, I'm going to give away something about the other. So I think I'm going to end the video here. I hope everybody is enjoying their month of June and making the most of the energies of the strawberry moon. I wish I could share my strawberries with you. I'm sure they're going to be delicious. But I'm going to do another couple of videos about writing, maybe some on a few other topics. I am going to go more into the spiritual side and ramifications of some of my writing, and I might bring you into some more of my process. We'll see. And share a couple of other things with you. I've been considering sharing maybe one of my sacred spaces, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not all that comfortable having something like that out on the internet. I also want people to understand that just because you have disappointments in life, that doesn't mean that your life is over or your life is somehow less. That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. Your life is still valuable. Your life still has meaning. It doesn't matter what society or the current trends or whatever institution or group that you're a part of, that they can't measure your worth and tell you who you really are. I mean, yes, everything that's happening in the world does matter. Does it mean that your world is over? No, not unless you choose for it to be, which, does that honestly make any sense? I mean, are you really going to let anybody have that much power over you? We were warned about all this, especially if you follow the herald, if you follow the trumpet blasts. We were warned about all of this. We were told what was going to happen. And that in itself is proof that heaven is real, spirit is real, God is real. All the stuff that they would prefer that you not believe in, the vast majority of it is real. It may not look the way that you imagine that it looks. Something like we can't really imagine accurately, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't imagine. That's another thing I think I'm going to make a video on, because that actually ties into something that I'm writing about, an idea that is worked into the plot of both the novella and Project Radiant, which I can talk about. That it's okay to imagine what the unseen world is like. It's okay to imagine what God is like. There are actually people who think that it's not okay to do that. So if God is real, if heaven is real, if all that is real, well, that's hope, because that means this isn't the end. It's the end of life as we knew it. Yes, like Allura has said many times, it's the end of life as we knew it. But is it the end? No. If you don't want to do it alone, you don't have to. There really is no such thing as doing it alone. You can always find place if you need help. There are always places that can help. There are always people you can go to, and you don't have to be in a church to pray. Take it from me. I pray every day, multiple times. I haven't been in a church and you don't want to know how long. So I'm going to end the video here. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I already said that already. I'll see you in the next one with all kinds of interesting stuff. Yeah, I think I'm gonna talk about a few other things because I feel like it's time. I'm gonna go with my intuition. I feel like it's time. See ya.